Welcome back to Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Mantey. Is there a problem with New Jersey's Code Blue law? It is set up to help those who need a place to go and stay warm during the coldest days survive. But there might be a shortfall. Here to talk about that is Terrance Turnbach, who is a councilman from Toms River, New Jersey. First of all, thank you so much for being in.
Thank you for having me.
Explain what the Code Blue law is first.
Code Blue is a law designed really to help at-risk individuals, the homeless, during severe weather conditions.
It gives them a place to go.
Yes.
They call them warming centers, right? So you get there, you get to go there until the cold weather passes, and it can save lives.
That's correct. Right now, the way the law is set up, if the temperature is 32 degrees with precipitation, there'll be a Code Blue designation. If there's no precipitation, it'll be it's set at 25 degrees, and that's where our issue is.
So Christmas Day was a cold day.
Yes, 27 degrees.
And you decided to go to one of these warming centers. Why?
In Toms River, we're really trying to lead by example, and this year with Code Blue, we actually have a Toms River facility, the Toms River Fieldhouse, Riverwood Fieldhouse, that we've designated as one of these warming centers. And we have a wonderful group, Haven Beats the Streets, that is working that warming center. So I wanted to give back to the community, serve the residents that really are in the most need, and provide what they usually require, and that's Wawa gift cards. You can buy a number of Wawa gift cards for $5. It gets the homeless.
So on your own on Christmas Day, you decided to get Wawa gift cards, go to the warming center where you assumed the homeless people would be because it was cold,
right,
and hand them out.
That's correct.
And what happened?
It was closed. It was closed because it was 27 degrees outside, but it was sunny.
Were you the only person there?
I had called on my way there and was told that there was no designation and it's not open. So at that point in time, I went home and I started reading the law. I'm a lawyer by trade, and I looked up the law and was surprised to find that if there's no precipitation, the Code Blue doesn't get called unless the temperature drops down to 25 degrees. And
are there people that knew that? Did the homeless people that were looking for a place to stay warm, did they know that, or did they show up?
No, they did not know that. So they're constantly either showing up at our facility or they're calling the volunteers at Haven Beats the Street to say, hey, I'm cold, are you open tonight? Has there been a designation? So there was 14 people in our facility on Christmas Eve because the temperature had dropped to 23. It rose to 27. Those 14 people did not have a place to stay on Christmas Day.
And so you think that's wrong?
Absolutely.
And what should happen?
We've already started a process. So at our next Township Council meeting, we brought this to light. We passed a resolution in Toms River calling upon the state legislature to at least, at a bare minimum, make it 32 degrees whether there's precipitation or not. Because below freezing is below freezing, whether it's snowing or it's not snowing. I'm happy to indicate that Senator Singer and Senator Kane have already heard this message. They've met with us and are introducing legislation to at least get it to 32 degrees. In Toms River, we've also passed an ordinance saying we're going to now call this at 35 degrees. We're trying to lead by example because we all have to think about this. 32 degrees is freezing, so is 33. And it's a real problem.
Well, it's cold. Even if it's not freezing, if it's not scientifically freezing, that may not be the best criteria.
That is correct.
Because go ahead.
When you do your research on the law, when this law was first drafted, it was considered at 40 degrees. So the initial proposals, as this law was being drafted, were started at 40. When it was passed into law, it turned to 32 with precipitation, 25 without.
And the reason for that would be cost? Is that all it is? They don't want to pay for it?
Yes, I would imagine it's costs, and I think you're exactly right on that. So it's something where we as a township are trying to say that that's not right. And these are residents of our township. We're elected to serve these residents, and they're residents that are really in the most need.
Now so you said you have two legislators. You have Senator Singer and Senator Kane. And they're going to introduce legislation. And that would be bipartisan legislation?
Ultimately, it will be bipartisan legislation, and we've discussed this at length in Toms River. Homelessness is not a partisan issue. It's a human issue. And Both sides, we expect, will support this. If you look at...
If they didn't before, why would they now? I mean, if they already said it might cost us too much money and we can't do 40 degrees and we got to bring it down to 32 and 25 without precipitation, why would you think that that's going to change now?
Because there's a need for it, and I think when people spotlight issues and a need, the hope is that our legislatures will respond to that. This isn't a partisan issue. Again, it's a human issue. These people need help. And really, from a cost savings matter, even if you think about it this way, a lot of the homeless have substance abuse issues or mental health issues. If we can start to address these issues at our shelter, our warming center, we have individuals coming in that are substance abuse evaluators, mental health evaluators, and we're trying to get them placed. And really, ultimately, on our state, there'll probably be a cost savings if we can continue to keep these places open.
That's always a good argument. Have you checked with other municipalities?
Yes, our neighboring town is Lakewood Township. They also have 2 facilities that are open. They are now passing a similar resolution to ours, calling on the state legislature to make the change, and they are also upping their code blue to 35 degrees. So in a brief period of time, we're seeing very positive change that will impact those that really need it the most in New Jersey.
And I would think that the only reason municipalities wouldn't do this is because then for certain times, you have to bear the brunt of the cost.
That is correct, but my feeling is, look, we've got an obligation to address an issue that's not going away. And you can either say, I don't want this in my backyard, or you can do something about it. And we in Toms River, I'm proud to say, across the board, Republican, Democrat, are working to do something about this.
So what's the next step? I guess hearings?
Yes, it's already been introduced in the legislature by Senator Singer. So it will go through that process, and then hopefully they'll get a bill passed and signed by the governor.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I'm sure you'll be there for the signing. I really appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Terrance Turnbach is a councilman from Toms River, New Jersey. Jersey Matters continues right after this. Still to come on Jersey Matters, he's one of the top athletes and top students in the state. How does he feel about the college admissions scam? We'll find out when Jersey Matters continues.